So imagine a city where medieval history meets modern life. That is exactly the city we are about to see today, and I'm super excited. Okay, so this video is tied to this Polish city beats every European capital. Uh, I really want to say this particular city. I really want to know why it beats every European capital. Okay. So if you find this video interesting, please make sure you like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. And let's get right into it. Okay.
There is a city in Central Europe that looks almost too perfect to be real at first glance. Yet most travelers still overlook it. A place where medieval towers rise beside pastel-colored buildings, where over 100 bridges connect islands filled with quiet gardens and student cafes, and where tiny bronze dwarfs appear suddenly on street corners like clues in a hidden game. The surprising part is this: even after traveling through cities like Prague, Krakow, or Vienna, many visitors still describe this place as the one that felt the most alive. So the real question is not whether this city is beautiful. The real question is, why is it still not on every European travel list? Over the next minutes, the layers behind this city will unfold. Its medieval roots, its dramatic transformations after war, its unexpected cultural rebirth, and the subtle details that make visitors stay longer than planned. And by the end, one idea becomes difficult to ignore. This might be one of Europe's most complete city experiences hiding in plain sight.
All right.
At the heart of the story stands Wrocław, a city that does not rely on a single landmark to define its identity. Instead, the entire center feels like a living museum where daily life continues uninterrupted. The starting point for most journeys is the breathtaking Market Square. It is one of the largest medieval squares in Europe, yet size is not what makes it memorable. The atmosphere does. Colorful townhouses surround the square like a painted stage set, while the Gothic town hall stands in the center with a presence that feels almost theatrical. But unlike many historic squares across Europe, this is not a preserved relic. It is constantly active. Street musicians perform without ceremony. Cafes spill onto cobblestone paths. Local life continues between tourists without friction. And here is where something subtle becomes noticeable. In many historic European cities, the old town feels separated from modern life, almost like a museum zone. In Wrocław, the boundary does not exist. That difference changes everything. Because instead of observing history, visitors move through it as part of everyday rhythm. And yet, this is only the surface layer. The real structure of the city begins just beyond the square, where rivers reshape everything. Few European cities are shaped by water as dramatically as Wrocław. The Oder River splits and reconnects through the urban landscape, forming islands linked by more than 100 bridges. The result is not just scenic, it is structural. The city literally spreads across water in a way that changes how movement feels. Walking here is never linear. Routes bend, cross, and loop back unexpectedly. One of the most atmospheric areas is Ostrów Tomski, the oldest part of the city. This is where the experience shifts noticeably. Gas lamps are still lit by hand every evening by a lamplighter dressed in traditional clothing. The ritual is not staged for tourists. It is an uninterrupted tradition that continues regardless of season. There is a moment here when modern noise fades completely. Streetlights glow softly, stone paths reflect warm light, church towers rise silently above the river mist. And suddenly, the city feels older than its buildings suggest.
Honestly, I love the way Polish people keep their tradition going. Like, their tradition is so beautiful. I really love it. Their cultural heritage is so important to them, and I love it. Like it is very, very easy to pass it to the next generation because they keep it going. And I love the fact that they are so happy doing all of these things. They love their country. I love the way they love their culture. Their culture is something that you must not go unnoticed. You definitely notice it at every given opportunity. This is actually a beautiful city, Wrocław. I'm just getting to see more of Wrocław, and I must say, I don't know if I pronounce it right. I'm sorry, but I must say it is safe to call this city a water city because it is like it is more of water. There's a lot of water and all, and I don't know how they're managing all of that. And it is actually beautiful to see. I really love it.
This contrast is important because Wrocław is not just a medieval city preserved in time. It is a layered city, rebuilt, redefined, and continuously reshaped. And that leads directly into one of its most surprising historical realities. The history of Wrocław is not simple. It is one of the most complex urban identities in Europe. Over centuries, the city has belonged to different states, cultures, and political systems. Its architecture reflects this layered past. Gothic foundations, Baroque influences, German urban planning, and modern Polish reconstruction all exist within the same streets.
Wow.
The most dramatic turning point came after World War II. Large parts of the city were damaged, and population shifts reshaped its entire identity. What emerged afterward was not a restoration of the old city, but a careful rebuilding that preserved fragments while creating something new. This is why walking through Wrocław feels slightly different from other historic Polish cities like Krakow. Krakow's heritage feels continuous. Wrocław's heritage feels reconstructed, yet intentional. This distinction matters because it explains why the city carries a quiet resilience in its design. Nothing feels accidental. Even contrast feels integrated. This layered identity also influenced cultural symbolism. One of the most famous examples is hidden in plain sight across the city. Small bronze figures, dwarfs, scattered across sidewalks, walls, and corners. More than 600 of them now exist. They began as a subtle form of resistance during the communist era, when underground movements used symbolic imagery to express dissent. Over time, these figures transformed into a playful, citywide identity. Today, finding them has become a kind of urban exploration game. But beneath the humor lies something deeper, a reminder that even in difficult periods, expression finds unusual forms. And that theme of transformation continues in the city's architecture.
Wow.
One of the most important architectural landmarks in Wrocław is Centennial Hall. Built in the early 20th century, it represents a turning point in engineering history.
Oh my
At the
God.
time of its construction, its massive reinforced concrete dome was considered revolutionary. Today,
This
it
is
stands
beautiful.
as a
This is
UNESCO
huge.
World Heritage Site. But beyond technical achievement, its presence reflects something more symbolic: ambition during a period of rapid modernization in Europe. The surrounding area adds another layer to the experience. Green spaces, exhibition halls, and water features create a cultural district that feels separate from the medieval center, yet connected to it through design philosophy. This duality is one of Wrocław's defining traits.
Wow, this is really so beautiful. This is really, really nice. Poland is honestly very, very rich in history, and I love how they are really so intentional about all of these things. Everything about Poland city has history behind it, rich history behind it, which is rare to see in the West. Even in my country, it is rare to see, and I really honestly love this for Poles. Okay, let's get back to it.
Old and new do not compete here, they coexist. And that coexistence extends into everyday life in ways that are easy to miss at first. Because beyond monuments and history, the city is shaped by people.
Honestly,
A major reason Wrocław feels different from many historic European cities is its population. It is a major academic center, filled with students from across Europe and beyond. This creates a rhythm that blends tradition with constant renewal. Cafes are rarely empty. Libraries stay active late into the evening. Public spaces shift energy throughout the day, from quiet morning walks to lively nighttime gatherings. Unlike cities where tourism defines the atmosphere, daily life here still belongs to residents. That balance creates something subtle but powerful: authenticity without performance. This is where many visitors begin to realize something unexpected. The city does not rely on iconic monuments to impress. Instead, it relies on atmosphere, and atmosphere is harder to forget. At this point, a comparison becomes almost unavoidable, because many travelers who have visited both Prague and Krakow often describe Wrocław differently: less crowded, more open, more playful, but also more layered in how it reveals itself. And that leads into the final phase of the journey. Prague often feels like a fairy tale frozen in time. Krakow feels like a preserved national treasure. Vienna feels like imperial architecture at full scale. But Wrocław feels different. It does not present itself as one unified identity. Instead, it behaves like a collection of overlapping stories. Medieval foundations sit beside reconstructed post-war neighborhoods. Quiet river islands sit beside energetic student districts. Historic squares transition into modern cultural spaces without dramatic separation. Even navigation reflects this identity. There is no single direction the city pushes visitors toward. Instead, exploration becomes the structure itself. And this is where the experience becomes personal, because every turn offers something slightly unexpected: a hidden courtyard, a quiet bridge, a statue half hidden in a wall, a cafe that feels untouched by time. These are not major attractions, they are fragments of atmosphere, and together they form something larger than any individual landmark. There are cities that impress immediately and fade quickly, and there are cities that reveal themselves slowly, staying long after the visit ends. Wrocław belongs firmly to the second category. It does not overwhelm with scale. It does not rely on a single iconic symbol. Instead, it builds curiosity step by step, through bridges, squares, hidden figures, and layered history. And that is why it continues to surprise even experienced travelers across Europe. Before closing, one final thought often lingers after leaving the city. The most memorable places are not always the most famous ones. Sometimes they are the ones that feel like they still have more to reveal. If this journey through Wrocław sparked curiosity, there is much more waiting beneath its surface stories. For more deep dives into Poland's most fascinating cities and forgotten histories, staying connected with the Poland history will continue the exploration. And for anyone who has visited Wrocław before, one question naturally remains: which hidden corner stayed in memory the longest?
Wow, this is such a very beautiful video, and I totally enjoyed watching this video. So, guys, what do you think? Do you think that Wrocław is um, beats every other European capital? Do you agree with this, or do you have um, a better city that beats every other European capital? I want to say shout out to the people of Wrocław, or Poland at large, right? Because it takes people to be able to keep this heritage, right? To be able to keep this heritage going. It takes the people, it takes the mindset that, okay, no, we are not going to let our history die. We are not going to let our heritage die. They keep on with the tradition, with a beautiful tradition. That is what defined people. Your tradition is what defines you. Your history is what defines you. And I totally love it. I totally love the fact that Polish people keep this history going, they keep the tradition going, and do not allow the modern world mess the whole thing up. It is totally beautiful to see, and I totally love it. Just share your honest thoughts in the comments. What do you think about this video? Drop in the comments below, and I would really appreciate that. And if there's any other video you would like me to check out, drop it in the comments, and I will definitely check them out. All right, and I will see you all in my next one. Bye for now.